The government in Australia has just changed hands, and now everyone is saying that as a result, there's going to be a lot more electric car sales here in Australia. A lot more. The industry is going to change. We're going to become a global electric car powerhouse. Is this true? Let's have a look at the facts and discover, well, what's really going to happen versus what people are saying. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans. I'm coming to you from Melbourne, Australia. I just got back from Tasmania. Never heard of Tasmania? It's a little island off Australia. It's actually, the people that live there wouldn't say it's little, but compared to the mainland of Australia, it's a small island. I was there with my son, Jack. He raced in the Tasmania BMX State Series, and he actually won that race. He's super stoked. He wanted me to let you guys know that he won the race. I'll put a link in the description to his channel, and I'll have a video up of us together going down to Tasmania and doing the race and our adventures together within the next week. So what's going on here in Australia? Well, Scott Morrison, who was our former Prime Minister, has just been ousted, and he lost in a landslide. It wasn't a close election like it wasn't, the American election was relatively close. Here in Australia, our sort of a more right-leaning government, they just got kicked out of government, and they got booted out. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, thanks for doing your job, we'll see you next time. It was, get the hell out of here. That's basically what happened. People said he's incompetent. One of the reasons they said he was incompetent is because of some of the comments that he made about electric cars. And to be frank, I'm not traditionally a person who votes Democrat or Labor. It's just not the way I am. But to be frank, let's be honest. Let's just say things. Let's just tell the truth here. Our Prime Minister, the guy who just got kicked out, he made some insane comments about electric cars. He said, electric cars will ruin your weekend. They'll ruin the weekend. He said Tesla's big battery in Adelaide, which has been an incredible commercial and personal success for people using the battery itself. He said it was a big banana, like a big joke. The guy, honestly, is a complete buffoon. And he's embarrassing. He is embarrassing. Even if you are someone who votes right, and his government is the Liberals here in Australia, which actually, even though the word liberal is used, they're not actually liberal. It's actually really what the Republican Party are in the US. Even though his government is the right side of the government, even if you vote for the right side, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all have different opinions on politics. I'm not here to talk to you about politics. I'm just here to say, even you should have been embarrassed about some of the comments that he made, because frankly, they were just like absolute stupidity. And the thing is, it's not like he learned his lesson. It's not like he went, you know what? I was wrong on the Tesla battery. I was wrong on electric cars ruining people's weekends. They're not going to ruin people's weekends. I was wrong on some other stupid comments that I made about renewable energy, those sorts of things. Now it's time for me to just shut up. But the guy, he doesn't know how to shut up. He just kept saying stupid things. So now, what's happened? Well, he's gone. His government has been decimated. And as a result, people are saying that here in Australia, electric cars will become much more popular. In fact, they're saying it's going to be a complete turnaround. Why are they saying that? Well, the incoming government has, made some interesting promises. They're saying they are going to change some significant rules to favor electric cars. They're saying that as a result of changing these rules, car manufacturers will want to send all their electric cars to Australia because the rules here will be so good for car manufacturers that they want to start shipping them here. Is this true? First, let's have a look at what rules are actually being changed. Here in Australia, passenger cars make up 10% of Australia's CO2 emissions. That is incredibly high, insanely high. Australians have a very, very high percentage of car ownership. In fact, unfortunately, Australians, if they've got to go 500 meters, they'll often drive. It's kind of become part of our culture. Now, to move Australians away from fossil fuel burning cars to electric vehicles powered by renewable energy, Labor, the incoming government, proposes exempting EVs from the 5% import tax and the 47% fringe benefits tax, which is a similar move that the United Kingdom or the England government made, which led to a spectacular increase in uptake in the UK. Remember though, availability was a big key part of the increase in uptake in the UK. There's a lot more cars available there now. So Labor's electric car discount will begin on the 1st of July 2022, which is the beginning of the new financial year. And it's only 5 weeks away from now. Labor promises to bring in policy settings to encourage Australian manufacturing of electric car components, especially batteries, and possibly cars themselves, and ways to address the policy implications of declining fuel excise. All good things, in my view. Really, really good decisions. Labor will consider how the Commonwealth's existing investment in infrastructure can be leveraged to increase charging stations across the country, and consider how other existing Commonwealth investments, including its fleet, property and leases, can also be leveraged. Now, hopefully they get rid of the ridiculous leases they have for hydrogen cars here in Australia, where the government pays $120,000 per car simply to lease it for 3 years and then it's gone. So they're paying, this is the madness of government. So they're actually paying more than $40,000 per year simply to lease one passenger car. And then they give them back at the end. And the funny thing is, we don't even have hydrogen charging stations in Australia. We only have one per capital city in the 2 biggest capital cities. So they can't even fuel the things. It's ridiculous. Anyhow, the Electric Vehicle Council estimates that an Australian $50,000 electric vehicle, such as the Nissan Leaf, which costs a little bit more than $50,000, will be more than $2,000 cheaper as a result of removing the import tariff. If a $50,000 model is provided through employment arrangements, Labor's fringe benefits tax will save employers up to $9,000 a year. Often, FBT, fringe benefits tax, is passed on to employees. And those employees will obviously benefit directly from Labor's policy. So that's true. That is a fact, that people will benefit from fringe benefits tax. Will they benefit from electric cars suddenly becoming cheaper in Australia as a result of these changes to the import tax costs? So in other words, the Chinese, if they want to, could flood our market with electric cars. They would pay zero import tax. So it seems like a good deal for them, doesn't it? Currently, our market actually is very good for Chinese cars because our import tax is very low, 5% compared to the US. The US's import tax, it's extremely high. It's 25%. Now we're going from 5 to 0. That's going to make the environment even better for Chinese car companies. However, these exemptions will be available only to all electric cars below the luxury car tax, which is 77,565 Australian dollars, or only about 52,000 US dollars. So there are quite a lot of models that are above that price here in Australia. This obviously is going to benefit the lower price manufacturers. Who we got? BYD, MG, Aura will be coming soon. Tesla, the Model 3, Model Y base model as well, when that eventually comes. SsangYong are bringing an electric car. Hyundai, of course, have cars below that price. Kia do as well. And then there's a range of other electric cars. There's the Mini electric car. There's the Mazda electric car, which is, to be honest, don't even consider it. The range is so tiny for the price that you wouldn't even look at it. And I believe there's going to be an influx of other Chinese electric cars from different brands coming as well. Will this actually reduce the price of EVs in Australia, as the Labor government are claiming? Well, it will by eliminating the fringe benefits tax if you buy it that way. Most people don't do that though, but it will benefit those people for sure. Absolutely. Will it benefit the average consumer by reducing prices? Well, as you can see, the Labor government are already saying that more than half of this benefit won't be passed on to the consumer. Now they're saying they're going to get rid of this 5% import tax, right? So the importer will get them in for 5% less money. Well, what's 5% of, say, $60,000? That's $3,000. So they're saying that the brand itself will pass on, 66% of the savings to the consumer. So the brand will keep a little bit of the money. What do I think? No. In the short term, you will get zero. The brands will keep all of this money as what? A markup. Why? Because we have so much demand here for electric cars in Australia right now. The manufacturers know They don't need to sell to us at a discount. I mean, BYD originally promised to sell their electric car, the BYD Atto 3, the Yen Plus, at a price that they didn't follow through with. Why did they not follow through with it? Simply because they didn't need to. They made a promise, they went back on it because, frankly, there is so much demand here in Australia that they knew they could sell at a much higher price than what they originally suggested the car would cost, which was under $40,000. And yeah, it's a lot more than that because there's so much demand. They were right. I mean, look, I ordered one. Many of you have ordered one. Look at the face of the owners group. They've had thousands and thousands of pre-orders for an unknown product. BYD is a completely unknown brand here in Australia, and yet they're selling like hotcakes, even though the price is far higher than what BYD promised. There's just too much demand, right? Supply is so small. And why on earth would they actually pass the savings on to you, the consumer, when they don't need to? When they've got so many consumers that people are literally waiting years for cars. I mean, Tesla's waiting list is longer than it's ever been. It's now more than a year for a Tesla Model 3. And you know what? In Australia, people don't buy sedans. The Tesla Model 3 is technically a sedan. People just don't buy them. They are the most unpopular type of car right now. Yet, the Tesla Model 3 has never been more popular. Why? People just want electric cars here in Australia. Now, Australians are being criticised for being backwards. Actually, the reality is consumers want electric cars. We're not as backwards as the world thinks. Some of us are. Lots of us are not. Lots of us can actually think. Like we can. A lot of us can. Some of us, no. Some of us, yes. Demand is insane here for EVs. Unfortunately, these policies from Labor will take years to have any effect on our market, in my view, whatsoever, for the consumer. But when it comes to getting more cars to the market, it's definitely possible that manufacturers, especially manufacturers in China right now, will start targeting Australia more because they can potentially make even more profit than they could before here in our market. So that is very possible, but that'll take a little while to flow through to you, the consumer. I would say more than 12 months for car companies to actually go, okay, we're going to make a decision. We're going to start exporting our cars to Australia, organising who's going to be the distributor, getting the requisite crash tests done here, getting the approvals, going through all the regulations. BYD have found that all of that's a lot of work. It's not easy to get all that done. Australian regulations, well, we are one of the most regulated countries on the face of the planet. That is reality. So it's not that easy to just go, you know what? We're going to just send a bunch of electric cars to Australia because this is great. Actually, what the Labor government, I suggest they do, is try to make some of those regulations a little bit less regulated. Yes, we do need safety here. Yes, we do need certain regulations. But there may be a way that they can actually streamline this process. Maybe the government could even work together with some of these electric car companies, with some of these vehicle companies to encourage them to bring EVs here to our country. That may be able to speed things up in a real measurable way. Let me know in the comment section below though what you think. I mean, overall, these policies from Labor are good. They're definitely good. They're definitely a step in the right direction. I'm just saying we need to temper our enthusiasm a little bit because otherwise I think you're probably going to be disappointed when you find out the prices are not really coming down, when in fact, in the short term, they're more likely to go up simply because demand is so high right now. But let me know in the comment section below what you think. Do you agree, disagree? I'm only one person, and I really want to know what your opinion is. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.